Hi, nice to see you. I'm Brendan, an endurance athlete. I have IgA nephropathy. We're all new here, not new to endurance racing. Been doing triathlons for a long time. I just found out last year I have chronic kidney disease, also known as CKD. I started off when I was a kid, running, had energy all the time. Got to high school, focused on music, college came along, got myself into some trouble, college stuff. Once I graduated, had a hard time getting out of that trouble until I went for a run. It wore off. Remembered that this is a way for me to control some other mental health conditions that I have. That's been more than a decade ago. So I started getting into triathlons, local stuff. I worked my way up, 70.3 distance triathlons, Ironman triathlons. For those of you who don't know, full Ironman, 140.6 mile triathlon is comprised of 2.4 miles of swimming, 112 miles of biking, and 26.2 miles or a full marathon of running, all within 17 hours. Done a couple of those. Today, we're in late March. It's weighted vest hike day. So this is a 511 Tech weight vest, and tucked inside of it are two 10-pound plates, one in the front, one in the back, from Rogue. I have my treadmill set at my highest setting. It's 15% grade for me. We're going for 45 minutes like this. I'm at 3.3 miles an hour, so I'll get roughly 2.5 miles and about 1,800 feet of climbing in like this. After a bike crash, realized I had some shoulder issues that finally needed to be addressed. 2 shoulder surgeries later, here we are. A buddy of mine, finally, after many years, gotten me into trail racing, trail ultra marathons. Last year in 2022, initially, I was supposed to take on, earlier in the year, rim to rim to rim of the Grand Canyon. For a number of reasons, that trip got canceled. Most of us have young kids, and getting the time to train was not realistic, so we had to call it. So instead, I signed up to do my first ultra marathon ever. I signed up for the Cowboy 200 in Nebraska. Started training as a warm-up to that. I signed up for a 50-miler in Bear Creek Lake Park in Lakewood, Colorado. During training, I took a bit of a fall on a long run and noticed that my urine was a little orangish, peachish colored. Not normal. You know, I had had some unusual results come back in my previous couple of physicals, blood and protein in the urine. After that fall, seeing the urine color change, I decided probably best to get it checked out by a specialist. So I got a referral. Now keep in mind, this fall happened 1 week before race day, the Bear Chase Trail race. Highly recommend it. Very good race. Asked my doctor, what do you think? Is this something I should be doing? And he kind of told me, listen, my insurance company will tell me that I should tell you not to do it. And so that's my official advice. But I know you, I know why you're doing it. I know enough to know you're probably not going to take that answer. So if you go do it, watch out for the color of your urine. Watch that it doesn't get to a cola color. Be careful not to fall as much as you can. And if you start feeling like something is off, stop. And so I went and did it anyway. Took a really conservative approach, was in control, really felt like I had a good race. I really felt good. I had my specialist appointment with a nephrologist, specifically a kidney doctor. That doctor said, I'm concerned that you have chronic rhabdomyolysis, which if you have been in the CrossFit community or the ultra community, you know is a thing that happens where your skeletal muscle starts to break down and damages the little filters in your kidneys. And if you're not careful, can lead to death because of the proteins that are in your bloodstream that are not being filtered. The advice at that time was you should be working out for no more than an hour at a time for the rest of your life. That was not what I was there to hear. Really upset me. My wife and I talked about the risks associated with doing the race anyway. I talked about it with my crew, talked about it with my coach, I talked about it with the other guys I was going to go run with, and we made the very difficult decision to not do the race in 2022. We made the decision to defer to 2023, give myself some more time to figure out what was going on with my kidneys, whether I actually had chronic rhabdo, and figure out what my future looked like. The alternatives were having 911 ready at any point, figuring out which hospitals were the closest to the route that had a dialysis center, and whether it would be quicker to call an ambulance or to call my crew, have them pick me up in a van and drive me to the hospital, or get an ambulance there right away that could start administering IV fluids until we could get to the dialysis center where they could start filtering my blood for me. The likelihood of death seemed pretty high at that point. And so that's why we made the decision we did. I found the one doctor in what I believe to be the entire state of Colorado who also is an ultramarathon runner and understands what it means to do these things and to be able to do these things from a physical wellness perspective and a mental wellness perspective. Got an appointment on the books with him as quickly as I could to go over my numbers, my history, and figure out what exactly is going on. So having seen my labs and talking to me, seeing me in person, made the diagnosis of IgA nephropathy, which we're not totally 100% on. We feel pretty good about it. So we changed tactics a little bit. We evaluate other electrolyte sources for cramp prevention. We evaluate other sources for sodium intake. We evaluate other ways to treat cramps when they start. And we keep training and we test all this stuff. So that's where we are. We're training for the Cowboy 200 in September this year, figuring out how this all works now. I feel like I'm starting over, but I'm also really excited to treat my body better, figure out what it needs, and see what we can do. I'm not a health expert. Don't take my word as gospel. Not that guy. Welcome. If you're here to watch some crazy fucking hippie running all over the place, welcome. If you're here to watch a middle-aged-ish dad of twin toddlers trying to figure out how life works while remaining active, welcome. We're gonna figure it out together. Thanks for coming along for the ride.